Well, wanted to make sure everyone knew that we were recording this, but I also wanted to welcome you to our Power Hour today. I'm Robin Eisen. I'm the Special Projects Manager here at the Young Entrepreneur Institute. And I love seeing all your favorite ice cream points, especially someone who said that their mouth is watering, because mine is too. I have to tell you, my favorite ice cream is chocolate mousse tracks, and you can get it at this store up on our vacation. And if I'm eating it, then I know it's summer, and I have earned my scoop, because I always say I have to walk there and walk home, that I can't get it every weekend if I'm not at least getting a little extra exercise. But ice cream is one of my favorite foods, and I can eat it all year long, but I especially enjoy it in the summer. So thank you for participating in that question. I'm going to have to try some of those unique flavors too. Today, we're going to be talking about planning your curriculum with tools in YIPPEE. YIPPEE is our online marketplace that is filled with free and vetted resources for you to use. For joining us today, you are going to, or you are able to earn both professional development credits as well as 250 YIPPEE points. That means you will be able to purchase any of the products that are spoken about and talked about in today's session. Helping me make sure that we get to all your questions and that all your comments are answered are my colleagues from YEI. Many of us have orange shirts on, and most of us, although I didn't do this, I forgot, will change our name to have an asterisk at the front of our name so that you can direct message us if you need. And I just wanted to remind everyone, if you're new here, or just a little reminder, that we will send an email with all the links and access to all the slides that are presented today. So don't feel as though you need to, take notes and jot everything down. We will have everything in a nice, neat folder for you so that you can enjoy and listen and learn today. And just in case you're coming in late, we are recording it. Today's Power Hour is a Power Hour spotlight, and we will focus on some of the activities that are available in YIPPEE. Activities are things like field trips or supplies, or things like books and games, things that you can actually have, like, put your hand on, or field trips. That's what we classified as activities. First, we're going to learn how YIPPEE works. Then we're going to hear from 3 speakers who offer unique YIPPEE resources. And of course, we will hear from 1 educator. To start us off, we are going to hear from Courtney Deha from Banyan Global Learning. Banyan Global Learning connects world-class educators with learners around the globe through exciting live virtual programs. Built on a foundation of best practices for online teaching, Banyan's live virtual programs create the educational opportunities that you've dreamed of for your learners. From exploring world culture and faraway lands to diving deep into feelings with social and emotional learning, these live virtual programs engage learners like never before. Then we will hear from Brian Westfeld from the Startup Squad. The Startup Squad book series was created by Brian, who is a global speaker and former executive. They were created to inspire and empower kids with a boy-inclusive focus on girls to realize their potential, whatever their passions, through entrepreneurship. And finally, we will hear from Nicole McGee from Upcycle Parts Shops. Upcycle Parts Shops is a nonprofit creative reuse center located in Cleveland. In addition to operating a storefront on St. Clair Avenue, they offer hands-on programming focusing on creativity and innovation. Their mission is to provoke creativity and promote community through reuse, resourcefulness, and relationships. And to top off our session, we'll hear from one of our educator ambassadors, Karen Sunderhaft. Karen has experience teaching in the online world as well as at Harmon Middle School in Aurora, Ohio. We love all our YIPPEE products, but hearing about how an educator actually uses them and their opinion, I think really adds a lot of validity and a lot of sort of backing that you guys can use. So with that, I think we're going to, get started, unless there was any questions or comments that maybe I missed other than ice cream. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about today is how to register and how to look for products on YIPPEE. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Are you guys seeing the YIPPEE home screen? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, thank you. So in order to access products on YIPPEE, you first need to become a YIPPEE member. What that means is you need to come over here to yippee.exchange and you'll be taken to this homepage. If you already have an account, you can sign in, but if you don't have an account, you can go right here and create an account. Here you'll be asked to enter your first name, your last name, your email, your account, a password, and then the type. Do you want to buy products? That means you're an educator. If you want to supply products, it means you're like a program provider, like you're going to hear from today. Or if you want to sponsor classrooms, that means you're a donor or a philanthropist. You want to add the money that goes to making sure that this whole engine works. Once you create the account, you can come back and from this homepage, just go to your sign in. I'm going to sign in as my educator, so that I'm going to be looking at the exact same thing that you'll be looking at when you sign in as an educator. The first thing that YIPPEE does will take you to your homepage or your dashboard. Here you can really get to all different aspects of YIPPEE. You can take a look around and see that you can go to your homepage. We have a bunch of marketing pages. If you click on YIPPEE up here you can get to products, you can get to community. You can look in your wallet to see if you can afford or if you have enough points to purchase the products. So as I mentioned before, for coming to today's Power Hour, you will receive 250 points. You use these points to purchase all the products. Now you can get to products in a couple different ways. I suggest that you click up here on products. And if you do that, you'll be taken to our products page. Just gonna let my computer go real quick. On our product page, you can narrow your results and filter these results to be more inclusive or to be more appropriate for you. You can see right now we have 72 different products that are available on YIPPEE. You can come over here to these little buttons and you can take a look at the grade and you can filter by grade. Computer's a little slow. So let's say I'm a 5th grade teacher. Let's just trust me that you can filter by grade here. You have a 5th grade teacher. That will take the results down. But I'm going to search even by more categories. So I can search by grade. So that's taken the results down to 41. But if you also want to search by, say, a certain category or a certain entrepreneurial skill that you're looking for, or if you know for sure that you only want products that can be delivered to the classroom. You can use our search bar over here with these categories, entrepreneurial skill and availability, to even narrow this search further. I'm not going to because my bandwidth is taking a little time. So I'm going to leave it as I'm looking for all the products that are available for a 5th grader, a 5th grade teacher. Then I can come over to this section. And if you see this area right here, sort by, we have most ratings, highest point value, lowest point value, best ratings, and most ratings. So let's say I wanted to, I knew I wanted to use my points, or I know I want to use my points and I want to search for the premium products or the products that have points associated with them. These are the currently the products that would be available to me. And I can go through all 41 of these products and I can look at them, or I can decide, I really want to search that or narrow that function down. I can come back over here and narrow it down a little bit more, or I can say, wow, something looks really interesting to me. I'm going to look at the entrepreneurial games. I can click on the entrepreneurial games and it'll take me to both, if this will take me to the product page for entrepreneurial games. And on this product page, I can learn a little bit about this product. I can determine how long it's going to take, the delivery type, the skills that are associated with it, a description of what the product is, as well as some reviews by other educators who have already used this particular product. If I'm interested in this product and I want to see what storefront it is, and this is working a little bit backwards, but I can come right up here and say, okay, entrepreneurial games is offered by the Young Entrepreneur Institute. It's one of their many products. Let me find out what the Entrepreneurial Institute, with the Young Entrepreneur Institute rather, what other products this organization is offering. This is a storefront page for my organization. And here you can tell quick contact information, all about the mission statement of the organization, as well as a listing of the different offerings that any storefront offers. In this case, we're looking at YEI storefront. You can see here that we have offerings at 250 points, as well as some 0-point products. This is because each storefront can value their product the way they want to value it. And also, we want to make sure that anyone who comes to YIPPEE is able to get some of the resources that we offer. Some resources have funders, have a funder backing, meaning we can provide funding to the provider. There is no money exchange for the educator. The educator purchases items solely with the use of points. But the reason the points vary is because of what you are offered, the type of services that you're offered. Some of them have supplies and field trips and everything like that that we're going to learn about offered through these products. So I'm going to take a real quick time out here and see if we have any questions, because that really is the best way to find products. Another way to find products is to use this search bar. And if you use the search bar, and let's say I knew I wanted to find something on Banyan Global Learning, I can type in here and I can see the provider, Banyan Global Learning, but I also can see BAN can take me to one of the educators who is in my community, and you can look about Aaron Banks and maybe connect with him or find out what type of products he had, or if you liked one of his reviews, you can see if he liked other products, really making this a community of educators who are all interested in teaching the entrepreneur skill set. Any questions before I go on? Let me take a quick stop. So everyone knows how to access YIPPEE. Everyone knows how now to create your own account and how to look for products. So we are going to move on to our speakers today, who are going to tell us about their specific products. Feel free to ask questions during all of these presentations. We're here to answer your questions and to help you the best way we can. So I'm going to turn it over to Courtney from Banyan Global Learning so she can talk about her products. Courtney, it's all yours.
Excellent, thank you. And let me make sure I've got my right share on here. Bear with me. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Deha, and I am with Banyan Global Learning. And this is our third year working with YEI and YIPPEE, and it's really exciting. We feel very grateful for the partnership. Today, we're going to be talking about our live virtual programming offerings. And any questions, throw them at me. I'm happy to answer them. And I'm going to try to stick to the 5-minute window. I believe that's what I've been given. So if I have to slow down, let me know. Okay, so who we are, Banyan Global Learning, we're a collection of teachers from all over the world. So we have teachers living in all parts of the United States and elsewhere, and we teach students through live virtual programming, through live virtual field trips, and then just all different forms of education. Today, we're going to talk about our offerings, and we really focus on these 3 offerings for YIPPEE and for entrepreneurship. So I'm going to dive into each one of them and just give you a few details here and there so you have a better idea of what they look like. The first is virtual public speaking workshops. Now, we are in a world right now where everything has shifted to online. And one hole we're seeing when we're working with students is the kids aren't getting enough opportunity for exposure to how to actually hold an online meeting or to present online. So we were given these wonderful venture lab resources from YEI, and this helped us kind of hone in on what we wanted to focus on for our students and for these virtual public speaking workshops. So we are going to be talking about public speaking and adaptability through the virtual lens. And a little bit about us, just to begin. Banyan Global, we've been doing this for 15 years in the virtual realm. So we have a lot of experience. We've presented at many different conferences on virtual hosting and virtual programming. And then we also work with the school Caixing in Taipei, Taiwan. And we have a Learning Live program there. So there's 40 to 50 students in each class. We have over 500 students. And at sometimes we actually have all 500 kids on the call. It's pretty insane. So we have a lot of experience with this professional development and so on. This photo, I got all the permission from the kids, just so you guys know, wonderful little faces there. So in the program, in the virtual public speaking workshop, this is kind of a couple of the things that you would see. I'll let you read through them, and I just want to highlight a couple. The first being having students host multi-location and hybrid calls. So think of this as a kid that really is running the call, sharing screens, spotlighting students, but also maybe it's a hybrid model. So they're calling into a classroom and then they have experts joining from a virtual space. So being able to manipulate that is a really unique skill and not always taught. Also incorporating audience voice and participation, utilizing innovative apps. So throwing in a Mentimeter and having the kids know how to do that and to facilitate that. And then just how to be an engaging presenter. I think there's a lot to be said there, slideshow development, all of those different pieces. So that's our first one. The next one is social and emotional learning and entrepreneurship. And you would think these might not go so well together, but we disagree. You see here on our wonderful resource, there is growth mindset and empathy, which are the 2 that we focus on with our SEL work. And with our SEL work, I have a little video here, and I'm going to turn off the sound and just you guys can kind of watch as I'm going through. But this is for our younger kids. So this is for our kinder and elementary students. And we have created the Banyan Buddies, where they go on an intergalactic adventure and learning about social emotional learning. And when the kids are live with us, the puppets are there too. So it's a really fun, engaging opportunity for the kids to learn about social emotional learning, empathy, growth mindset. And then after they get those foundations, then we start to connect it to what they're learning with their entrepreneurship and make those connections as to why it's so important to have these skills. In terms of the older kids, we ditch the puppets and we keep it a little bit more of like a workshop and a conversation, talking about growth mindset, talking about understanding emotions, using the zones of regulation. And then this is a really nice opportunity for these kids to apply what they're learning in their classes and have a really in-depth conversation about why it's so important to have empathy for someone that you're working with as an entrepreneur. So really awesome opportunity. These are exciting and very engaging opportunities for the kids. They tend to love them. And then our last offering is ideation and inspiration workshop. Now this one touches more on like our virtual field trips that you may have seen in the past or that you've heard about. Because this does give you an offering of going to different locations and seeing these different sites. We focus in here on curiosity and idea generation. And I really want to highlight that idea generation because I think sometimes when kids are working and they're really getting into the process and they're trying to figure out what they want to do, they get stuck there. So it's nice for us because we do have such a global connection with our organization that we can show a lot of different perspectives, which is really important. This is a very, very short video that kind of gives you an idea of what this looks like. And I just want to share this very quickly with you.
think Field Trips Live is great for students, for teachers, for everybody. I mean, everybody is getting something new that you wouldn't get in traditional teaching. So for students, you get this little flavor, like you're actually seeing the world unfold in front of you. So if you're inspired to be a chef, you can talk to a chef across the world. If you want to be a journalist, you can talk to a journalist across the world. I mean, it's amazing. And if you're looking for that extra spark of inspiration, that's where it is.
So that was really short, but just want to give you an idea. I'm a person that loves to see things visually, so I actually have an idea of what it looks like. But so for this final part of our ideation and inspiration, firsthand interactions with innovators. And I love this point of having the kids get an opportunity to see things that might be out of their normal realm and just get them thinking creatively and differently. Meeting with these experts, having conversations, Q&A opportunities for them, and just this exposure to new ideas. So with that said, I will link out our website. Please feel free to visit it. We do have other offerings that aren't based in entrepreneurship if you're ever interested, SEL, global citizenship, and digital citizenship. And I'm really grateful for all of you and your time. And thank you, YEI and Robin, for having me.
Thank you, Courtney. Before I go on, I must say that these are great new offerings. I really love them. If you are interested in them, they hopefully will be up on YIPPEE within about 24 hours or so. They are all new, brand new to the YIPPEE team. And like all of our offerings, all of the products on YIPPEE go through a vetting process, and we're still working on that, but they will be coming, I promise you. And it just kind of emphasizes the fact that, you know, we do make sure that the products that we're providing and the resources that we're providing on YIPPEE do meet the entrepreneurial standards that we have set, and want to make sure that they are top quality, good products for you guys. So I checked right before we went up on this, and we're not quite there, but we will be there. So don't panic if you go to YIPPEE and they're not there yet. Just hang tight, check back with us in a couple, in you know, just a short period of time, and we'll have more information for you about that. Okay. So moving on, we're gonna see and talk with Brian Westfeld now from the Startup Squad, whose products are all on YIPPEE. So Brian, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. First of all, thank you, Robin, and the whole YEI team. I'm not only a big fan of what you're doing for all the kids in Cuyahoga County and the area, but hold a personal spot in my heart, because the YIPPEE conference in 2018 was where I saw my book for the first time. And I actually, on my desk, I keep a copy. Someone was kind enough to take a picture of me seeing my book for the first time. And so I keep this on my desk. So you're always
awesome.
Very near and dear. Anyway, let me share. Great. So just in terms of background, I've spent my career helping entrepreneurs build their businesses. So I was part of a 3-person team that bought IMAX, the giant screen movie theater company, in the early 90s, and helped to turn that into what it is today. And then I moved from New York out to Silicon Valley in 2008 to be the chief operating officer of coupons.com, and helped to grow that from a startup to what was about to be a publicly traded company. But I've got 2 daughters, and was inspired by them to create the Startup Squad to get kids, primarily girls, interested in starting that first business. Not that every kid should grow up to be an entrepreneur, but just that they can start to think like entrepreneurs. Obviously, we all know how powerful the entrepreneurial mindset is. And so there are 3 books in our book series that are published by Macmillan. We are actually we haven't announced yet, but we're working on 3 more books that'll be released by Penguin starting in 2023. And we're very proud that this summer, the American Library Association recommended the Startup Squad as a diverse and inclusive read to teach young people about money. And so the books are novels, but I describe them as inspiration, information, and aspiration. The inspiration part is, I said, the books are novels. They're about 4 6th grade girls who do everything that 6th grade girls do, but they happen to be running businesses on the side. And the novels themselves are relatively light on the business stuff, because we have the information section in the back. The back of each book has a list of business tips drawn from the narrative that kids can use to start their own business. And then the last thing we have is an aspirational section, which is each book has an interview with an actual kid entrepreneur, because we want the kids to know that just because they're a kid, it doesn't mean that they can't grow up to be, they can't run a big business. And so, as I said, each book has different business tips, and the narrative of the story incorporates those business tips. So we work with a lot of other entrepreneurship education programs where they'll integrate our books in, because the narrative will help to reinforce the topics that they're talking about. And it's all just combining that left and right brain thinking. So, you can tell a kid what marketing is. But if they read a fun story about a girl who made a sign for her lemonade stand that was so big she couldn't even carry it down the street, and then you explain that's marketing, it just helps to reinforce that. So as I said, we've worked with Girl Scout troops that incorporate our books using cookie selling season. We're doing some work with Junior Achievement right now. And I travel the country talking to kids about entrepreneurship. I do in-person presentations and virtual presentations. This summer, I spent 2 days up in Columbus on behalf of the Columbus City Schools, meeting with some of the kids in their summer entrepreneurship programs. I've done probably about 5 or 10 different virtual programs for the YEI group. And we were very proud to have been featured on Good Morning America last summer as well. So in terms of the YIPPEE, we have 2 0-point offerings and 2 250-point offerings. The 0-point offerings are both free digital downloads. The first one is the Entrepreneurship Activity Kit, which is designed to be done as a classroom activity. There's a teacher's guide, instructions to take the kids through coming up with a name for their business plan, coming up with their sales pitch, and there's interactive ways that the class can sort of vote on their classmates and which ones of their presentations and other things that they like the most. The other one is an activity kit, which is meant to be self-guided. The kids can do this on their own, or they can take it home as an additional activity. And then from 250 points, we have 2 offerings. The first is a 30-minute virtual visit where I'll join your classroom, talk to the kids about entrepreneurship, give them ideas for businesses that they can start, tell them stories about other kids that started businesses, share the importance of risk and failure, tell them stories about famous people that failed. I love telling the kids about Beyonce when she was 9, was on Star Search and lost. And that just because she lost a talent show, she didn't give up. She kept going, and that's an entrepreneurial mindset. We also provide 1 of each copy of our book for the classrooms, and we do have available additional copies for purchase for a discounted price. The other thing that we can do, which I've never done before, I'm assuming we can do this, is if you've got budget for in-person author visits or in-person presentations, we'll let you apply the dollars or the PIP points for YIPPEE towards that in-person session. Then the other YIPPEE offering is a virtual business plan on our website. It's free to use. You can grab it right now. We have a business plan template. It's a pretty comprehensive, about 15-page template for kids to develop their own business plans. And so for this 250 points, I'll do a virtual workshop with the kids and lead them through the process of creating that business plan template. So finally, our website, thestartupsquad.com, we have a ton of resources. We have teachers' guides that go along with the books. We have activity kits. We have a number of other things. You can also sign up for our newsletter. We, once a month, send out different entrepreneurship-related resources. Obviously, follow us on social media. We're always highlighting other kid entrepreneurs. If you've got girls in your programs that have started their own business, we would love to profile them. Just let us know. You can email me at thestartupsquad.com. And I should mention that while we are girl targeted, we are boy inclusive. Most of the speaking and most of the presentations I do are to co-ed groups. And so there's nothing, we're very inclusive. There's nothing anti-boy about what we do. That's the Startup Squad.
Thank you, Brian. I have a quick question.
Sure.
You mentioned the business plan. The business plan, your premium product or the 250-point product, you can get the business plan itself on your website, or you can get the business plan and a author visit, or a you will zoom in and help the students work through their business plan from YIPPEE, correct?
Exactly. Yes. The
Okay.
business plan template is free to anyone. You can go on our website and grab it. But as part of the 250 point program, I will actually do a workshop, half-hour workshop with the kids to walk them through that that business plan template.
Awesome. I think let's add, for like a note for you and me, let's add that free one to YIPPEE also, so that we can
Oh,
have
sure.
it all in one place, make it a little easier for the educators.
Great.
Okay, great. Excellent. And congratulations on your new books that are coming up. It'll be
Thank you. We're
fantastic.
excited.
Nice new additions, I'm sure. Thank you again. We're going to turn it over to our last provider, Nicole McGee from Upcycle Parts Shop here in Cleveland. Nicole?
Hello, thank you.
Oh, wait, real quickly, Nicole. Before you start, we had a question that just got posted to Brian about what age does the Startup Squad books target?
So the sweet spot is 3rd to 5th grade, but we've worked with anywhere from 2nd to 6th graders on it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry
Sure.
about that, Nicole. Go ahead. Floor is
No
yours.
worries. Okay, thank you. My name is Nicole McGee. I'm the executive director and co-founder of Upcycle Parts Shop in Cleveland. And our mission, as Robin shared a little bit ago, is, oh, this is the part where, to provoke creativity and promote community through reuse, resourcefulness, and relationships. So we do this work by not solving for this giant problem in our society and not trying to solve for it, but seeing the opportunity from problems, recognizing that our waste stream is full of all kinds of useful materials. We simply want to demonstrate alternatives to throwing things away or even to recycling. When we look at materials, we want to look for the non-toxic materials that have only been used one time. And then we want to see their properties and think about what they could be. That's how we define upcycling. It's about identifying something and then adding value to it. So it's, in that sense, different than recycling, but it is about reuse. When we look at the properties, we want to transform them in a way that is elevated and that does a lot more along the process. So that's sort of the basics of what we do at Upcycle Parts Shop. We take in donated materials and we get these from many people and from companies. In 8 years at our location, in our existence, we've taken in 47 tons of materials. So those materials then become transformed. And in that process, we're demonstrating that things that we might only use one time or that might be expired banners or something in this example can have a future use. And in that process, we can connect to other people and we can connect to our own inherent creativity. That's what the work's about. That's what we love to do. And we're a community-based organization in Cleveland where we do this. Where is an important part of who we are. We're a place-based organization, and these are some of our neighbors at the high school down the street. Our storefront is on St. Clair Avenue, which is in the St. Clair Superior neighborhood if you're a Clevelander. And we are open 4 days a week. It's like a secondhand shop meets an art supply shop with some treasures, and it's always kind of a fun time inside. This is also where people bring donations. We take donations by appointments. And with those donations, we not only sell them in our retail shop, we use them for programs where we sort of curate our own selection of materials and invite people to play and make things and innovate and just sort of get into that space that sometimes as adults we forget, but kids come running to, that creative space where we all know how to make things and we all are inherently creative. Using secondhand materials and talking about where things come from is part of how we do that, but the invitation is always a creative one. So our YIPPEE offerings are kind of my favorite jam. As the founder of the organization, I love the entrepreneurship piece. And we are kind of new to talking about ourselves as a case study and as an example of a social enterprise. We look like a business, but we are a nonprofit organization. And therefore, we're able to work with volunteers and we're able to get all these materials donated. So we talk with students about what a social enterprise is, how that works as a business model, and then we put materials in their hands. Specifically, we offer 3 different things currently. We're working on maybe a 4th one. But right now, for 0 points at the top is an online social entrepreneurship resource. It's called Upcycle Enterprise. I'm going to walk you through each of these. Then we have a hands-on classroom program. It's a field trip to our shop or a Zoom classroom visit. And lastly, a classroom set of innovation kits or individual training on gathering the secondhand materials yourself so that you can make your own innovation kits. These can all be combined, or the last two can be combined. For example, if you're not local and you want a Zoom classroom visit and you want some training on how you can use those materials, you can do both of those. Or you can come to our shop and get a field trip. You can do the stuff online. You can do all of these. But the materials are what we sort of want to share with you on how to get them. So this first one, our online social entrepreneurship resource, it's called Upcycle Enterprise. And this is just a screenshot. This is available through our storefront. You will be directed to this part of our website, and it's called Upcycle Enterprise. And this is me, my face, talking about different aspects of our social enterprise model. And we talk about entrepreneurial thinking, inspiring innovation, and community action in young people grades 7 to 12. So this is sort of an entry point, and it's 0 points it's available right now. And you can use the culmination piece is you can use materials that you have, or you can order our kits, and students can be invited to innovate and come up with a prototype of their own idea for a social enterprise. Next offering is this classroom set of innovation kits. We heard from teachers, honestly, it surprises me to reflect on it, but we heard from teachers before the pandemic through YEI. We were doing a workshop in a classroom, and one of the teachers said, all the stuff you bring, could you like package it up so that we could have it for students and then do something with it and not have to like count and think through it? And it was like, oh, that's interesting. Little did we know that would be very interesting and very necessary. So this is something we found to be supportive of educators, and it's possible with our volunteer power. We like to say that these are not proprietary materials, but we're looking at them as the sort of ingredients to a recipe to innovate with. And we also share this message that you're considering not just what it is or what it was, but what it could become. With this offering comes an educator teacher's guide as well. And then lastly, our hands-on innovation session. So field trip to our shop, which is what you see on the right there, or a virtual classroom visit. And so that's where I talk about our work at Upcycle Parts Shop, why we do it, how we do it, the opportunity that we all have, especially as entrepreneurs, to think about business coupled with social good and the impact that everyone can have if they think like an entrepreneur and think about the social problem that their business could have, the impact that we all can have in our lives and in our communities. And then we get real dreamy with the materials and make a representative prototype, something that represents that business. So you can see on the left, students presenting their ideas, and on the right, students, before they present, are innovating and working in teams or groups, or duos or teams, coming up with, like, first they're answering what's the social problem, and then how are we addressing it? Not solving it, but addressing it. And then, making some kind of fun, weird thing that represents it is sort of the whimsical part, but it's about the brain exercise of all of it. So we would love for you to come visit our shop if you're local. We encourage you to check out our website. And I do want to take the moment to say that we have an educator promotion happening right now in August. It's for educators and high school students, and we're calling it the Great Basement Giveaway. If you spend $15 or more on our first floor, then you get limitless trips to our basement. Our basement is like bargain basement. So you can see some fabric behind Jane. You can imagine when we talk about secondhand materials, we take in quite a bit of stuff, but it's like paper and binders and pens and records and leather scraps and beakers and bleakers. It looks different every week. So every time you're here, it's a very special moment in time that will never be replicated because of the variety of what we take in. So that is us in a nutshell. Our website is here on the bottom. And if you're interested in donating materials, we're also very interested in that too. And you can find a donate header on the top of our website. But thank you so much. We love talking about our work.
Excellent, Nicole. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to say news that's going to be exciting for you, first time hearing it, as well as for Nicole, is that this fourth product that Nicole was talking about from a general strategy has been approved, but we need to work out the details. The idea is that Nicole will soon be offering a product or a resource that is educator focused in terms of sort of more professional development or educator training that comes with a certain amount of, or the ability to shop at their shop also. So the details of this new educator training and material, being able to walk out with materials will be coming in the next week or so. We'll get that up on the site, and so you can look forward to looking for that. Just got to get the details worked out. So I can sit here and talk about YIPPEE and have our providers sit here and talk about YIPPEE, but really the people who I think really provide the most sort of backing to YIPPEE and the validity of YIPPEE are our educators who have experience using YIPPEE. Today, we're going to hear from Karen Sunderhaft, who has a lot of experience using various products here on YIPPEE. And really all I asked her was for her to share her opinion of YIPPEE and some of the products. And that's really it, because I think hearing from our educators is really helpful for other educators. So Karen, thank you for sharing your time and your experience today. Appreciate it. I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Sunderhaft. I am a middle school teacher at the Harmon Middle School in Aurora, Ohio, but I have taught at private all-girls school and boys schools, private boys schools here in Northeast Ohio, as well as being an online educator for 9 years. So I overall have been part of the cheering squad for the Young Entrepreneur Institute since the early days. And it's been lovely to see how it's evolved. And YIPPEE is an evolution of that, because it used to be something that they offered the same scenario at the Inspire conferences, where you could meet someone like Nicole or Courtney or Brian and see what they're doing and ask them questions firsthand and be exposed to all these great resources. But now this is even better with YIPPEE, because it's 24/7 at your fingertips for you to find out some more opportunities for your students. And in a word, for me, YIPPEE is really about inspiration. And I'm a 6th and 7th grade gifted English teacher, and I'm really interested in helping my students garner all of those skills and gifts that you heard from the presenters so far when it comes to empathy, understanding another part of the world, using things creatively, thinking innovatively, and really helping them to stretch into that growth mindset and being flexible learners. And so I'm always interested in learning what to do. So all of the speakers really hit that on the mark. And the other thing I really love is I know I'm better when I collaborate with other teachers. And in a way, you're collaborating with other teachers by looking at some of the reviews from other teachers at the YIPPEE site. And so for me, I have used the Startup Club books in my classroom, which has been great. I've also been able to know Courtney, who I adore, through the Banyan Global Learning. And I'm excited to really want to do something with Upcycle this school year. And I know even our media center librarian has a makerspace in the library. So she is kind of way ahead of the curve, and I'm excited to share with her about Upcycle. I know that there could be a link and a connection there. But if I speak quickly about Banyan Global Learning, for me, I actually shifted in my job as the 6th and 7th grade middle school teacher and went to teach online. We had 61 5th graders who wished to be online virtual learners all year during the height of the pandemic. And my teaching partner, Rhonda, and I were very excited to connect with Courtney, and she was amazing. She was so open and willing to figure out how to do this. I mean, here we had all these 5th graders stuck in their homes, but we wanted to get out into the world, and Courtney was that link. And she was so great about trying to figure out a unique way for us to fit into our curriculum. I know Courtney actually went out of her way to kind of really think outside of the box to introduce us to her friend Robert. And that was a special offering for us because of our special circumstances. And it really tapped into empathy, innovation, the business sense, but then going on to the social community service aspect, which is near and dear to our hearts. And so that was great. And then the other thing that Courtney connected with, we utilized one of the social emotional workshops. And I have to say, it was something that touched all of us. I felt like even my teaching partner, Rhonda, and I felt like, oh, social emotional, okay, we've done some stuff, but it was so much more than that. And we all came away from the interaction, the message, the music, better than we were when we entered that workshop, because we needed it more than we thought we did. And it really, we had other students logged in, not just our classroom students who were in their own homes, but other students were there. And the idea of, I just want to mention that it's beyond watching a YouTube video, because it's live. You can interact and ask questions. So yes, I can pull up a video about Taipei, Taiwan, but to be there, it's almost like I've transformed the whole classroom and landed in another location. And that is the special gift that Courtney brings. So I highly recommend that.
Thank you, Karen.
Excellent, Karen. Karen, when you go to look for your products or your resources, do you use the search feature, or how do you go about using YIPPEE?
I do a little of both. So I may start with the search feature if I'm looking specifically for something, but honestly, and I've heard other educators share this with me too, I like to I may hone in on the grade level, but I really like to look at everything, because there might be something there that I didn't even know I needed, right? Or could springboard onto, especially with Nicole and Upcycle. My mind was going about how we could do certain things and how I could fit that in. We have 6 competencies in Aurora: innovative, collaborative, empathetic, resiliency, critical thinking, and then balance. So all of those things I see in everything that all of your speakers presented. And so in my mind, I'm trying to fill in some gaps that I didn't even think, wow, I could go in a direction I didn't even think about. So I don't want to miss anything. So I may use some filtering, but I almost will spend some time really just perusing through it. And because I just don't want to miss anything.
Great, thank you. And thank you for taking your time today to share your educator experience with the rest of the participants. Really appreciate it. Let me just take a quick look to see if anybody had any other comments before we kind of close up almost. Any questions from anyone, or comments, or, I mean, we have our speakers here, so now is the time.
Robin, if I could just ask a quick one.
Sure, please.
I loved hearing all these, and I've been wanting to connect with Upcycle Parts Shop, because I just am so intrigued, and I love the concept. What and if you said this, I apologize. Do you ever work with early elementary? Some of the teachers that I support, I'm helping them develop a unit in this vein, and I didn't know grade wise, I didn't get to investigate in YIPPEE closely enough, but grade wise, if you span all grade levels.
Hi, Anne, I think you're talking to me. We honestly haven't really named early education in the past, but that is something we have done with a few regular childcare centers, and we've gotten a little bit into it. So I would say I'd love to have a conversation.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Anne. Any other questions out there? Hey, is Eileen, I know she was having trouble, needed to get on. Is she on? Okay.
It does not look like it, no.
Okay, I know she was having some issues there. So I just wanted to mention to everyone, well, a couple things. Number one, thank you guys all for coming today. Really appreciate you taking the time to learn about YIPPEE and learn about these resources. We do have a survey for you, and I would appreciate it. We look at every comment on the survey, and to entice you, we will be giving you YIPPEE points for filling out the survey and completing it. So Evan is going to drop the survey in the box in the chat. And if you could take the time to fill that out, that would be great. We really look to bring in speakers and have topics, et cetera, of the things that you guys request. So someone did ask if their YIPPEE points expire. Yes, they do expire, but you always have plenty of opportunities to earn more. Starting at Inspire, our next Inspire in November, YIPPEE points will expire 1 year from when you earned them. So you will have a full year to purchase and utilize resources, but you will also have more than enough opportunity to earn more YIPPEE points back. And if you're planning on something or need extra points or anything like that, give us a call, because we will for sure make it so that you can utilize these awesome entrepreneurial resources for your classroom. So I hope that answered your question. And okay, getting back to the announcements, thank you for the survey. And please don't forget to complete that survey. This is our third power hour that is focusing on YIPPEE resources for curriculum planning. Next week will be our fourth and final power hour for August, which is unique. Usually we just have one power hour every month, but in the month of August, we wanted to make sure that our educators had access to and had knowledge about all the different resources in YIPPEE so that they could plan their curriculum. This next week, we'll be talking about our classroom speakers. We will be having Waggy Labs, Home's Mouth-Watering Applesauce, and Meanwhile in Africa as our presenters. Now, Brian Westfeld is a speaker, and as is all of our speakers today. They are both speakers and activities or supplies. A lot of our different categories do overlap. So I don't want you to think that, oh, only, you know, Brian or Courtney or Nicole is only a speaker or only activities. They do overlap some, and next week's speakers are the same. They do overlap also. If you're at all interested, you can go back and watch our other two power hours for the month of August. We did do our first power hour, which was exclusively grade band, where we talked about specific products and services and resources that were only available in different grade bands. Okay. And then the last announcement for today really is about our upcoming Inspire conference. Our Inspire conference is our annual, really fantastic event where we bring together thought leaders and educators and speakers, and even have a student market, all in a conference over 2 days in November 4th and 5th, and up at the Lander Haven in Ohio, right here. Not sure, it's right off of 271. It's a fantastic 2-day event where we will have, of course, YIPPEE. There will be some aspects of Inspire that are YIPPEE focused, but it is more than just YIPPEE. It is really all about teaching entrepreneurship, learning from other people, learning about best practices, hearing fantastic and motivational speakers. We are still looking for some workshop leaders. So if you're interested in that, you know, give us a holler. I know we've sent out a couple different emails about that. And Evan, I don't know if you can, but if you can put your fingers on the workshop link, that would be great. If not, we will make sure we send it in the follow-up. And then lastly, I just want to remind everyone that we do work in this space, we being YEI, work in the space of youth entrepreneurship every day. And if you have questions or comments or concerns or ideas or looking for resources, or really just want to chat about what's going on in the industry, you know, give us a call or send us an email. We offer consulting services, so please don't be shy. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank our speakers again for a wonderful power hour. We couldn't do this without you and without your knowledge and your resources and your sharing of your time. So I thank you, Nicole and Karen and Courtney and Brian. Fantastic. So thank you. I will stay on, but this officially ends our power hour. I will stay on to answer any questions that you might have thought of or might not wanted to ask in front of everyone. So I am here. If not, I hope to see you next Thursday, same time, same place. Thank you all.